Chapter 9. You're right. Your school does suck. Your school sucks. And so do most, not all, public schools in this country. How I see it, only a handful of schools across the nation, those that offer trade, technical, or technological skill certificates, are preparing you for the real world. And I wrote this in 2016, by the way. Things have changed so much since then. The things that are being taught today are gonna be obsolete, and they're already obsolete. AI is making things we teach you guys obsolete all the time. Quantum computing is gonna be making things obsolete all the time. Okay, so I feel so bad because unless it's something that will give you a sense of knowledge about the universe. For me, science, I love teaching science. And so when I teach science, I teach kids things that they should know about the universe, and that practical stuff is not necessarily gonna play out in their lives. They're not gonna necessarily work as a scientist, but at least that information is useful, right? To know basic things about your existence. But anyway, that's what many, especially high schools, say they do. That's why you have such a hard time staying motivated to take school seriously or even to attend, some of you. Okay? I had the great fortune of attending what's called an engineering magnet high school. So my school in San Jose, Yerba Buena High School, was an engineering magnet school. So aside from the college prep classes that you're going to get a chance to take in high school next year, English, they call them all, by the way, college prep, history, social studies, whatever, those are called college prep courses. But I got a chance to take, when it first started, CAD, computer aided design. It was a program, a software that allowed me to drafting. This was in the 1990s, guys. I took electronics at my high school. I took metal shop. I got to do some machining, okay? And I even got to stay 1 week at the University of Santa Clara to learn the latest in engineering and computers. I sent my first email across the world to a pen pal in Australia. The year was 1992. Monitors were huge. This was the forefront of technology back in those times. Anyway, living in Silicon Valley, I could have focused on IT, information technology. In retrospect, maybe I should have. And I could have done very well for myself. I could have gone into engineering. If I had stayed in the valley, Silicon Valley, I'd be in a different, perhaps level right now than I am today. But only because, you see, I was exposed to those classes in high school. Sadly, though, courses like that vanished for a very long time. After the 90s, from like the early 2000s to 2010s, it was all about making kids be ready for English, math, history, and science. Not to mention wave after wave after wave of something called state tests, which you're going to have to take. Okay? And skill courses, finally, skill classes in some of the high schools around our district are making a comeback. And in other parts of the United States, skill classes are making a comeback. And that's a good thing, because we need tradesmen or tradeswomen. We need people who know how to do welding. You're going to get paid so much now, guys. We need people who know how to do machining. We know people who know how to fix HVAC, whatever, because there's less and less of those people out there right now. Plumbers, carpenters, okay? So skilled classes, though, they have been rebranded. They're no longer called the trades. They're called now STEM classes, or career and technical education classes. So they've been rebranded to give them a good name. But it's the same things that you see back here in these pictures. Shop classes, okay? So there are some high schools in our district that will provide you badges or certificates for having been able to accomplish a certain skill, life skill, like graphic design and stuff like that. 21st century skills. So if you take these classes, by the way, I highly recommend them. They're called CTE, Career and Technical Education classes. Those will be electives. You're going to get a chance to choose that your high schools when you go next year or the year after that, some of you. Okay? Please take some CTE classes, all right? Because we need all of these individuals in the workforce: plumbers, electricians, carpenters, auto mechanics, etc. Is it hard work? Yeah. You bust your back doing these kind of jobs, but you get paid pretty good money. Okay, and nowadays there are more resilient jobs out there. You're less likely to get fired if you're a welder unless you screw up badly. Okay, unless you do something illegal, because they're just in high demand, in high need. So please consider these careers. Anyway, what's going on right now in school? Well, your teachers, your counselors, your principals, they're obsessed. What are they obsessed with? They're obsessed with pushing college on not necessarily anymore as much as 2016, but still to this day, many educators want to push college onto you, okay? Guys, some kids don't even make it past second grade before an adult starts to brainwash them about going to college, okay? These adults, they mean well. After all, college graduates do make more money on average than those with only a high school diploma. And I have that here to show. On average, high school graduates make a whole lot more over their lifetime. Okay, you see how the money starts to increase the more degrees you have. All right. So that's it. So yeah, getting more education is going to help you out if you can get employment these days, because AI is eliminating. I have knowledge of people who just graduated this year. They have a degree in the coding degree is computer science. They have a degree in computer science, okay? They're engineers in computer science, and they can't find a job. And the reason for that is because now AI is doing the coding. AI can code for you. So a lot of these individuals that just finished college are having a hard time. They're going to have to pay their college debt, and they have no source of income. Or they're going to have to take a job that isn't what they majored in because of AI, okay? So there are plenty of reasons to go to a four-year college, but here's not to go to a four-year college. Ready? These are the reasons you should not go right after high school to a four-year college. You might want to pause and go to maybe a junior college instead. So here are the reasons. One, you have no idea what you want to major in. Now, some of your counselors and some of your teachers will say, go to college anyway. Go to college anyway. Even if you don't know what you want to major in, they'll say, because the first 2 years of college, you're doing something called general ed. But guess what? You're also paying 4-year college tuition, which is way more expensive than junior college. Okay? So don't buy their advice. Don't do it. Stay out of a 4-year college if you don't even know what you want to major in. Okay? Reason number one, because the colleges are expensive. Reason number two, let's say you do know what you want to major in, but it falls in the least valuable college majors. What are those? What are the least valuable college majors? Okay, least valuable. I want to major in drama and theater arts. Okay, well, you better be a star in Hollywood, because if you're not, you're going to be making nothing, and you're going to owe a bunch of money. Visual and performing arts, not a very valuable major. Composition and rhetoric, linguistics, fine arts. Most valuable, architecture, engineering, pharmaceuticals, genetics, engineering, okay? Least valuable, psychology, composition and speech. I took these straight out of Google, and I bet they have already shifted, because this was about 2 years ago, okay? So you can see there that there are good majors to go to college for, and there's ones that are going to leave you broke and unhappy and sad that you even attended, because now you have a huge college debt to pay off. Okay? So that's reason number two. And number three, I am certainly not going to send my kid if they don't have a major, if their major isn't a valuable one, and the last one, if they don't have a career in mind. What do you want to do with your major? What's the career you have in mind? If you say, I don't know, I just want to major in this, don't go. You shouldn't be going to a 4-year college. You might want to start out at a junior college, okay, for 2 years, and do your gen ed there. Pay a whole lot less. In California, some of you will even qualify for free tuition. So it makes more sense to go to the junior college, get those gen ed classes, and then transfer. Now, some teachers and counselors in high school will say, well, you know what? Studies show that kids who go to junior college don't transfer. They end up going to work and never finish college. And you tell them, that's okay, because maybe they got a trade out of junior college. And maybe they're making pretty good money with that AA degree. So that's the answer to that, okay? Or maybe they took a year to pause. That doesn't have to happen to you. You can go to a 4-year college after 2 years of junior college. I did it. I transferred right away. Okay, so it's possible to be done. You just have to hone in and focus. And hopefully during those 2 years, you did exploring and some exploring, and you found out the major you want to go into. You found out it's a valuable major, and now you have a career in mind. You have 2 years to decide after high school when you start junior college. Okay? And the facts are that many students of color, they don't like school. Okay? I wasn't like, all happy about it. I asked them as a high school assistant principal, why don't you like school, when they were in my office? I'd ask them that. You know what they would tell me? It's boring. School is boring. This is in high school. Okay? And do you feel like that about school? What these students were telling me is that what they were being offered as learning, it didn't have any connection to their passions, to their heart and mind, right? They were being taught, what they were being taught didn't make any sense to them. Schools also suck then because they too often offer the same type of education for every student. But all kids are different, especially when it comes to their interests and personal learning style. So in other countries, for example, I think Germany has 2 wings. You might start high school together, but eventually you branch off. Kids who don't do so well on certain tests end up going into the trades, and kids who do really well end up going into further education. So navigating high school is all about, for you guys, learning more about yourselves and what do you like to do, because you only have 4 years to decide whether or not you want to go to work right after high school. That's one option. 2, go to junior college for 2 years, or 3, go to a 4-year college. So those are your 3 options, because if you sit and do nothing, I don't think your parents are going to like you very much if you're just living at home not doing anything. Some people, if they're rich people, they'll go travel of a year. Some of the kids that are very rich, oh, I want to take a year off to travel after high school. Okay, well, you got the money, you know? So if you don't like school, let me give you some advice. First, graduate from high school, please. Please, the least you can do is get that diploma, okay? If you don't, I don't care what it takes for you to do that. If you don't end up passing all your classes and you have to transfer to an alt-ed, like a continuation of high school, that might be the future for some of you in here, unfortunately, because the odds are stacked against some of you. But please at least finish that continuation of high school, because a diploma is a diploma is a diploma. It doesn't matter where you got it from. Okay, no one's gonna look into it. When you put in an application, all they ask you, did you graduate? Check off the box. Click, yes, I graduated. You might have to type the name of the high school, but so what? Nobody's gonna look into that high school's name, wherever you try to decide to go get a job. But if you have to put, no, I didn't get a diploma, that is bad, okay? The least you could do is get a diploma, okay? It's a big deal graduating from high school, because you might be the first in your family to do this. I don't know, in some cases. You might being able to walk, by the way, it's called walking. When you go across the stage at graduation, you saw it in the movie we saw. It's a privilege, right? Your guardians want to be there. They've waited all of your life to graduate from high school. So don't disappoint them. Don't let them down by not graduating from high school and having to get a GED. Some adults have to do that. What's a GED? General education degree. They have to study a test and pass it in order to get the diploma, because they didn't actually do it the traditional way. They didn't do it like a student during the first 4 or 5 years of high school. And then after high school, decide what you want to do. Again, here are your options. Find a job, go to work. Maybe your parent owns a business. Great, go work for them. Maybe you want to start a low-key business. Great, do that. That's option 2, start your own. 3, enroll at a trade school. It's not junior college, it's a trade school. Okay? Or 4, go to a junior college. 4 or 5, a regular university. And the last option, the worst of them all, is sit at home and do nothing. All right, guys. Thank you for listening.